Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. Hi, everybody. I hope you all had a good celebration, New Year's Eve celebration. Um, I tell you, about 20, 30 minutes before I went live, got news from South Korea. Don't know if you all heard about that, but opposition party leader was assaulted and injured with a sharp object, okay, to the neck. So let me see what's going on. Hi, Joan. Hi, Richard. How you doing? Yeah, 500 years of peace. That's what we want. Hi, Robin. Nice to see you. Yeah, get your rest, honey. Happy New Year to you. Just lay back and relax. Rubber Toe, how you doing? Wanda, Doc, nice to see you all. So I was trying to uh, get everything together for what we're going to discuss tonight, which there is a lot. And more news keeps popping up. You know, I was going to go to my overseas news reports, but I would have never got to go live. I mean, or be 11 o'clock at night before I finished, because that's the only way you get the real news. You know that. So let's see who we got in here. Diane's here, Debbie's here, to Debbie, haha, Nick, Skickenberg, Sissy, Angel, hi, Marla, Kim, Ian, Lone Wolf, there's Doc, Joel, how are you? Oh, yeah, you just saw the documentary on X. Hi, Nikki, how you doing? Happy New Year. Oh, yeah, like Scavino said, buckle up. Kate, how you doing, Kate? Sharon. Yeah, hit the like button before you forget. I've done that. Robin already hit it for me. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, I saw that short video of the assault on that opposition leader in South Korea. And I have some screenshots where hi Ken, Angel, the local news put in there, our regular mainstream. North Korea dictator Kim Jong-un told his military to annihilate South Korea if there's any provocations. He's ready for WAR. That was day before yesterday. Oh, well, what happens today? I'm sitting here getting everything together, taking notes, and I was looking for something Mr. T posted where he, I believe, purposely misspelled something, but I can't find it. It was a word with I think a C, may have been a CH, but I was looking for that word because I was going to research what that could have meant. But while I'm doing that, boom, I get another notice that the South Korean opposition leader was podged in the neck. Looked to me like I saw a video clip of it, looked to me like a very well practiced attack. And it was a tight gaggle of press people around this gentleman. And the person that did it was standing right in front of him. He had looked to me like a full, something like a hockey mask like Jason would wear, but it was blue. So many words I got to be careful of saying, folks. You know that. I can't say JAB, okay? I can't say STTAB, right? I can't say MASK. You know, isn't it crazy? And try to have conversations like we do with people who are on the other side. You know, we try to reach out, and we have to talk like 12-year-olds. You know, trying to talk behind the teacher's back in pig Latin. So anyway, but that's the way of the world. We'll keep on keeping on, right? So I don't know his condition. I saw an aftermath picture where an aide was pressing a compress on the side of his neck while he was, looked to me like he was unconscious. Didn't look good. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Fancy Oak, how you doing? Flannel Cheese, Happy New Year to you. Tyne, how you doing? Bill. Magma. Ian said magma. Jet lag, how you doing? So Trump misspelled sour country instead of our country. Oh, that's a good pick up there. Sissy, you're right, he did. He did. So anyway, Sissy's on the ball. Hi, Cindy. Redhausen, how you doing? Susie, nice to see you all. Okay, so Georgie Porgy Soriosio, they said he got swatted. Did you all see that? I'll get to this situation with North Korea. Not only that, but the warning about diamonds. I'll see how much you guys are on the updates, because I'll explain it all. But what did you notice about the picture in my thumbnail and what I said in the thumbnail? Lori, how you doing? So anyway, Trump's diamond warning. I'll tell you what the thumbnail picture is. It is a Her Majesty's ship, HMS, that's been deployed and is going to, they're not thinking about it, they said they're gonna strike targets in Yemen in response to what the Houthis are doing. And guess what the name of the ship is? HMS. I'll see if anybody gets it. So I thought, oh man, that's a warning. And I've also got my thumbnail, proclamation confirmed. What am I talking about? Proclamation confirmed. So these are some questions I ask. People put in answers if you want, but if any keywords, you make sure you put a number for a vowel, or any wordy dirts. Yeah, Mr. T had a Trump Ninja Turtle. So, yeah, well, Russia has many room-sized vaults of diamonds, but hi, MS Motorsports. But yeah, Trump said something about diamonds. They said, be careful. Be careful, because the ship you see in my thumbnail picture is Her Majesty's ship Diamond. And when Trump put his post up about diamonds, he said, hey, they're fake. They're growing them in labs. Out of the blue. Nobody was talking about it. But out of the blue, he says, hey, they're growing them in, here it is. Wow, he said, diamonds as an investment no longer sounds good. Even some experts can't tell the difference. Be careful. And then he has a quote, lab-grown diamonds go luxury and rock the industry. That was his truth that he got. And I said, I didn't think much of it. I said, oh, I never worried about diamonds anyway. Just looking at the comments. But then I see that they pulled the USS Gerald Ford out of the Mediterranean. And then you have this introduction of HMS Diamond when do you tell somebody that you're going to do something? We're going to strike, all very strange. And I think it was, I'm sure the movements of those vessels were known by Trump days ahead of time. And yeah, De Beers has made lots and lots of real diamonds. They got a tough policy, and they got micro engraving on their diamonds. But if you can grow them in a lab, that's like geological alchemy with rocks instead of gold. So if experts can't tell the difference, yeah. Sissy, no, I don't think diamonds mean that. No. No, I think in this case it is a warning to the UK going out there and messing around and trying to get things sparked up in the Middle East, because you get Iran going, and Russia's tied in with Iran, and you got what's going on with the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, and what's going on in Gaza. It's a tinderbox over there, and we already have a crisis in shipping through the Suez Canal and the Panama Canal at record lows because of, they say, a drought. But yeah, so that's going to be one of many factors that's going to cause economic upheaval, and I'm expecting that to rear its ugly head very soon. Economic upheaval. We have an artificial suppression of gas prices, inflation, an artificial increase in employment reporting. People are struggling, but they're covering it up in the numbers and covering it up by the news. Awaken Trillium, how you doing? Miss Mendersu, how you doing? I meant to thank you for helping out the other night, last week. Miss Mendersu, with the buy me a coffee link. I appreciate it. Camperman helped out too. I got a, let's see here. I got a list of people that helped me out. I got a monthly update from UTizzle. Camperman helped me out. Lone Wolf, Miss Mendersu, Gary, MD, Christopher, Pappy Two Bears. Anyway, I got an update from UTizzle. I know I'm off topic, but it surprised me. I don't think I'm being treated very well, but I'm surprised at how well we have done. For 2023, over almost a 250,000 views, almost a 250,000 views. Isn't that something? No, I'm telling you, folks, I put a picture on the thumbnail of the actual, I'm not doing a picture show tonight, but of the actual vessel HMS Diamond. It's in the red zone. It's in the danger zone. And we know that the Houthis have rocket technology that they've gotten from Iran, and vessels can be sitting ducks with that. And the ship is named the HMS Diamond. And this was 72 hours after Trump puts in something about diamonds saying, be careful. I mean, I don't know where people get KIDs out of this. I don't know. I mean, it's a clear message that it's a dangerous situation, a volatile situation. We know war is knocking on the door. It's a warning. So anyway, Trump confirmed. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? Trump confirmed in no uncertain terms, in my opinion. Oh, wait a minute. My recap. We got over a 250,000, almost 250,000 views. 200, over a 250,000. Oh, wow. Likes, 36,700 likes. Ain't that something? And what's this next thing? 2,818 likes. Wow. So that's what 2023 was like. And 2024, Bill Clinton's going to be known as John Doe number 36. You were right. Who told me that last night or Saturday night? I said, I hadn't heard that. Boom, here it comes. He's number 36. 50 trips. 50. Poor Bill. What's he going to do? Now we can talk about PIZZA. That's what that is. You can't put diamonds on PIZZA. You'll break your teeth. Whoa. I got a note. Oh, somebody followed me on Truth Social. Hello, new person on Truth Social. And I got a Google notification. China's Xi Jinping says Taiwan will surely be reunited with China. North Korea's Kim orders military to thoroughly annihilate South Korea if they are provoked. So I don't know if any of y'all heard any updates on that opposition leader that got attacked this evening, roughly an hour ago. But anyway, Mr. T, he reposted something, and I don't know if you all saw it or not. He reposted from DC Drano. And if memory served me correct, the last couple of times I broadcast, Friday and Saturday, I had discussed that I thought, as many of you out there in the chats, I'm sure, have thought also, that the video that Twitter took down when Trump told everybody, time to go home, that was his required proclamation under the Insurrection Act. And I think we were talking with one of our friends who's kind of on the other side, Freedom, and I don't think they believed it. And, well, you know, we just report what was Dragnet. You say just the facts. And I have got so many pictures here. I need to find it because I want to read. Mr. T reposted it himself from DC Drano. Well, thank you, Angela. Yes, we have worked hard, haven't we, Nikki? Yeah, I tell you what, I need a producer. I need a graphic designer. Hi, Jet Lag. No, I already said, I thought it said Jet Lee. I had a Bill Giles. How you doing? Let's see. I'll see if I forgot anybody. If I forgot anybody, there's Damon. How you doing, Damon? I apologize if I forgot anybody. But anyway, I'm trying to find this thing Mr. T posted today from DC Drano. Here we go. And now this is reposted by Mr. T on Mr. T's Truth site, so nobody can argue with me about what I was saying. Quote, when Twitter deleted Trump's public request for people to go home on J6 only 5 minutes after he posted it, it seemed very strange. Wouldn't they want peace? Were they trying to frame him for their narrative? But what if there was something else at play? What if they were trying to limit his ability to activate the Insurrection Act? Said the exact words. The number one prerequisite for invoking the act is to first call for disorderly citizens to go home. That was reposted by Mr. T today. Social. Exactly what I was saying, and exactly what I've said on multiple broadcasts over the past year and a half, almost 2 years. As a matter of fact, in the past, I put up the actual Insurrection Act from 1861. I got a copy of it off the internet, and I read it and showed it on my screen doing a picture show. And I showed Abraham Lincoln's signature when he invoked the Insurrection Act. And I read where it says, one of the requirements is for the president to make a public proclamation for those engaging in insurrection to retire peaceably to their abodes. That may not be the exact verbiage, but the term abodes, their home, dwelling, is what's used in the Insurrection Act. And then I played the clip that Trump posted where he was standing outside White House, and I got my channel taken down. But I played where Trump said, you have to go home. You have to go home now. And I was reading one article where somebody said one of the prerequisites in the proclamation has to be a time frame that they have to stop their insurrection behavior or whatever by a certain time. Well, he did put a time frame in there. He said now. That's a marker for time. That's a time limit. Now, not later, not yesterday, now. You have to go home now. So, yeah, everything he said. And as far as I'm concerned, with him posting what DC Drano put up today, he confirms once again that he invoked the Insurrection Act on J6. And he said in the past that Milley begged him not to. He said, oh, he begged me, sir, please, sir, don't do it. Don't sign that. Don't sign that Insurrection Act. And he said those words. He said, that's a hard thing to do, to sign that. He didn't say he didn't. He said it's a hard thing to do. Believe me, it's a hard thing to do. How do you know it's hard to do? Well, because I did it. That's why. That's what he would say. I'm pretty sure. Hi, Sandy. How you doing? Oh, Nikki. Well, you got to sack out. I'll try to be within some kind of decent hour tonight. That one night I went 2 hours. Jiminy crickets. I got to let this cat in tonight. She's want to be nosy. I think she wants to see what her old gang is up to. I made her drop out of that gang. So anyway, also in that very same tweet that Mr. Trump retruth, DC Drano had a clip from a Newsweek article. Because he said, if that was the case, who is orchestrating this? That was DC Drano's question. If they are trying to thwart him from invoking the Insurrection Act, Who's orchestrating it? And then he had a clip to Newsweek and says, before the president could use any of his powers provided to him under the Insurrection Act, he would first have to issue a formal proclamation ordering insurgents to disperse. According to Congressional Research Services, the article says, research paper from 2006, the president must command insurgents to disperse within a set time frame. If that order is not complied with, the president then has the power to deploy troops to resolve the issue through an executive order. So if his order to go home within a certain time frame is not complied with, he has the authority to engage troops on U.S. soil. So he said, you have to go home now. Now. So I'm seeing if anybody heard anything about that South Korean opposition leader who was assaulted. If he made it, it didn't look like, he may be all right. But that was just hours after Kim Jong-un made those very threatening statements. Debbie says she's over this BS. My. Well, we're just getting to the good part. Former J6 committee chair confirms probe records sent to prosecutors investigating Trump. This is something else Mr. T put up. Then Chairman Benny Thompson. You all remember the J6 guy? They said they destroyed all the evidence and nobody could find it. Well, it turns out now they gave it over to Fannie 2x4. Hi, Gloria. You're not late. You're right on time. Thank you, Debbie. Ghislaine's head was in the aisle. What, did it fall off? Was it rolling down the aisle? Gosh, when I do a picture show, I'm gonna have to put this up. I guess they got around Tommy Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville had put a freeze on promotions for people that were of the alphabet crowd. And Chuck Schumer was trying to get around that. Well, I guess you all saw the picture of somebody being promoted from or to lieutenant colonel in drag, okay? In drag with Space Force, no less. Space Force. So, yeah, that wasn't in the news. But this business of Benny Thompson, the Washington Times, of all things. Well, it's not the New York Times. But anyway, they have had to admit, the print's really small, but Mr. T put up the whole article where they admitted they did not get rid of the evidence. The evidence is available, and it was given over to Fani Willis and others. So then he put out a lot of stuff. I mean, he put out pages and pages, which of course I'm not going to read, pages and pages about presidential immunity, pages and pages about the 14th Amendment, pages and pages of, legalese and things he's putting on the record that these people, and I'm talking prosecutors, judges, secretaries of state, and whoever else thinks they got a dog in this fight, they should know. And many of them probably do know, but are still acting in defiance of the law. So, oh, she was at Joe Biden and Jill's wedding photo? I'll be darned. Hi, Doug. How you doing? Yeah, the shaman with the horns on his head said go home peacefully. They took his video down. But the big one that somebody's going to get in trouble for was done by the president himself. Who in the world could knowingly and purposefully take down a presidential proclamation, interfere with a presidential proclamation? That's a very serious issue. Anyway, Trump also put out an article from the American Spectator about Rudy Giuliani. And really, Rudy Giuliani put out some interesting truths tonight, too. But in an interview, Giuliani said this Judge Beryl Howard is the name? Beryl Howell. Time to impeach D.C. Judge Beryl Howell? Question mark. And there's a picture of Rudy Giuliani. And use the term black letter of the law. And that's exactly what Rudy Giuliani is citing. And it is being published in papers. So people can't say they didn't know. Remember, I talked a long time ago about a judge that said, maybe you didn't know, but you should have known, and then bang down the gavel, guilty. That's the case here, what I think they're doing. The person in the Spectator says, well, good for Rudy Giuliani. In an interview with Newsmax Greg Kelly, former New York mayor said this after he was ordered to pay $148 million to election workers. How can you not be so sad for the country? I'm just making sure I don't drop off while I'm reading. Then he goes on to say, here I am in the District of Columbia. The first time I came here, I got goosebumps. I'm going to leave here thinking the District of Columbia court is a fascist court. I knew when she was assigned to the case, I knew we were DEAD. I didn't realize we were that DEAD. Do you realize I never got a chance to put a single bit of evidence up? In my defense, my liability was based on the fact that I didn't comply completely with discovery, and I turned over thousands of documents, and I sat for a deposition and did not take the Fifth Amendment. So they pulled the same stunt they pulled on Alex Jones, the same quote legal theory they're trying to do with Trump, that a judge can just impose a judgment if you didn't, in their opinion, the little pea brain, that you didn't produce enough documentation to suit them. Which is horse, you know what. So let's see. Then they had copy of when Elise Stefanik made that complaint about Beryl Howell. Put that in the article too. But they went on with Giuliani said Judge Howell had an ethics complaint by Elise Stefanik for highly inappropriate political speech. Giuliani said of this, I didn't know she had given the speech which she talked about the J6 defendants and really about Donald Trump, his big lies. And she's also the one who got very upset when the J6 defendants weren't getting enough sentences as far as she was concerned. She wanted to hammer people even more for taking a tour of the Capitol. And she upbraided the prosecutors and said the sentences should be heavier. That is not a role for a judge. It is nothing short of astounding to witness the unraveling of the American judicial system for no other reason than an irrational HATE of former President Donald Trump. Anyway, the article goes on. I'm not going to read the whole article, but it goes on to put out some pretty settled law, okay, evidentiary statements where this person should be impeached and may very well be impeached. Now, Mike Davis, we know he's going to be Mr. T's attorney general, right? He's going to be. Oh, Freedom Rider's here. You just came in. I just read that whole a good part of that article from Giuliani. I don't want to go over all that stuff again. But I will quickly summarize. He gave thousands of documents, and he sat for a deposition and did not take the Fifth Amendment. And what the hell more do they want? Okay. He was very actively participating. What he did was he said he wasn't going to testify. He wasn't going to resist it anymore because the judge had already entered a judgment against him. There was no point. And he said that they had suffered enough. Were you there for that broadcast I did, what Giuliani meant by Ruby and her daughter had suffered enough? Rudy's America's hero, yeah. He repeated what he saw with his own eyes, what I played video of here, what I've shown pictures of, and it's all going to come out. So what he was referring to where Ruby and her daughter had suffered enough was that they were told to play ball and not turn in anybody, not confess to anything, or else. You're Freedom Rider. You're repeating reports that you've heard that are incomplete. You need to read. Well, Rudy, he goes on live, and I'm sure you can even engage him in chats. You have to remember that he is high-level prosecutor, okay, and very experienced, and got an excellent reputation. And he got railroaded. He provided thousands of documents and hours of deposition, and the judgment got entered without a jury, without a trial by jury, by a judge in DC who has T period D period S period. And I've already gone over, if anyone feels that Rudy Giuliani, Trump, Bill Clinton, for that matter, Barack Obama, for that matter, if anybody feels that any of those individuals or any American citizen should be denied due process, that judgments can be entered against them as a matter of a judge's opinion only. They're not thinking in a constitutional way. We don't operate that way, but that's what's been going on. No American should be subject to that kind of extrajudicial action. And a lot of people need to ask themselves if they experience what I've talked about in the past called Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. When you were a kid, did you get a kick out of seeing somebody else fall down and scrape their knee? And this is a general question, not to any particular person. Did you find yourself in the past or in the present thinking it's funny when somebody else suffers? You get amusement out of that. That's called Schadenfreude. And hi, Roy, how you doing? And you need to reflect. This is a general conversation to a general, no one in particular. That is a personality defect, okay? It's a form of antisocial behavior. Hi, Mary. Jerry Lee said arrest the bar. I hadn't heard anything about APTMs getting cleaned out, Mary. We would have heard something. So if you're honest with yourself and say, you know, I do kind of think it's funny when somebody else, even if I don't know who they are. You know, there are people out there who will see a really nice car parked. The driver takes the effort to park far away from other people. They like their car. It's new. It might be a classic. It might be brand new. It might be the first time in their life they ever owned a new car. And they'll walk the extra distance to go in the store, and people will pull up beside it and bang it with their car door. And think it's funny. Schadenfreude. And like Posobiec said, Marxists dislike anybody who's good looking and successful. I see what you're saying, Nikki. I don't usually find humor in others' misfortune either. But I've said before, when even in the Bible it says God will mock people when they have evil plans that go to catastrophe. When they have evil plans that go to catastrophe, he'll mock them. Namely, there's misfortune they brought upon themselves, but not just looking to put a dent in somebody's door you don't even know. You know, and I mean that as a metaphor. People will put a dent in other people's doors psychologically, you know. Well, yeah, I'm reading this about the currency. So this is the new thing that people are thinking about because, who knows? Are they going to roll out new currency in 2024? I don't know, but I found it very interesting about Georgie Porgy Soriosio getting swatted. You all heard about that, right? I mean, I saw a report about 2 hours before I went live that George got swatted. Let me see if I can find a report on that. Said they went to his, oh gosh, I'm trying to get this thing to, said the police had his Southampton mansion, is it? Anyway, but the police did arrive. But you all remember me saying, believe me, that for certain people and addresses, there'll be a notation in their cop's computer, and there will be different codes, for what's going on with that person. If they're a VIP, or if there's just same as if there's a warrant out for them. There's also codes that say, be careful with this person. So you could bet that George Soros is in that computer with a certain code. So I'm just wondering out loud, maybe they picked him up and used the SWAT thing as a cover? Or is he still in Barbados with two guys holding him up while he's waddling around? Did you see that? Or did he get back from where he was? I don't know, Barbados or the islands or somewhere. Did he come back from overseas? And maybe he's on his way to a very special place, right? They said there's a special place for Georgie Porgy Soriosio, and you got all these other people getting swatted. So they say, oh, he got swatted too. Did he really, or did he really get hustled off onto a DOJ plane and down the spa? It's not that crazy of a notion. Yeah, Cindy, I see that. Cat turd, yeah, he got swatted a bunch of times, and his family members. But I wouldn't be surprised. I had something about cat turd put up something. I think Mr. T might have even reposted something from cat turd, but I know Mr. T reposted this from Mike Davis, who's going to be the next special prosecutor. He might even be the very special prosecutor. Oh, I'm going overboard with conspiracy. I'm just daydreaming, Freedom Rider. But like I said, I've got a little bit of experience with what comes across computers, okay, especially about persons' identities and particular addresses that are handled with care, okay? Anywhere from handle with care to drop them, and everything in between, if they're high-profile people. Hi, Jetlag, how you doing? Can't wait for Spa's movies. That's right. And I'm not too far into the conspiracy because Catherine Herridge put up that report that Obama promised, first of all, before I talk about Catherine Herridge's report, Obama pledged to shut down the SPA. And that's code name for GIT, okay, MO, which I can't say, but anyway, he never did. As a matter of fact, they expanded it. When Trump got into the presidency, he tripled the size. And then after Trump left office, Biden pledged to shut it down. It's okay, Miss Minder Sue. We do back and forth. Biden pledged to shut it down. Now here we're coming on 3.5 years. And Catherine Herridge put out a report that they were working great guns on multiple courtrooms, okay, with galleries meant for the press and meant for television transmission for reporters to be able to live TV the proceedings. What's that for? I thought we only had like 15 guys there, right? From 9 and then 1-1. That's a lot of work for 15 guys. Or was it 18 guys? I don't know. But why would you triple the size of it, spend hundreds of millions of dollars, and put these state-of-the-art courtrooms with all that tech ability? So that and they're ready. They're ready. They were supposed to be scheduled for completion summer of this year. But anyway, Mike Davis put out, Dear Ruth Marcus, Special Counsel Jack Smith's wife is Katie Shivigny. In 2020, she produced a Michelle Obama film and donated $1,000 to Biden's presidential campaign. Under your made-up recusal standard, must Jack Smith recuse? Do powerful men own their wives? In other words, this person he's referring to is calling for Clarence Thomas to recuse himself because Clarence Thomas's wife has particular opinions about what happened during the 2020 election. So Mike Davis is saying, well, if that's the standard, Clarence Thomas has to recuse himself because of what his wife said, then Jack Smith should have to recuse himself for what his wife did. Did a documentary on Michelle Obama that said, Becoming. Becoming what? Oh, Miss Minder Sue. At some point, we got to reach out to people. And if I guess that's the way to do it. You can block people, but if we're becoming Mike, right? Single. And, but maybe somebody will learn something out. I mean, seriously, I'm going to say seriously to Freedom Writer about Rudy Giuliani. His experience, his knowledge, okay, as one of the top cops in this nation, at his age, one of the top prosecutors in this nation. You don't think he knows what he's talking about when he goes in with some little peanut judge in D.C.? that he doesn't know what he's talking about? That he didn't know what he was talking about when he was talking about Ruby and her daughter? Especially when you could see with your own eyes what they were doing. Claimed a pipe burst, ran everybody out of the building. And then once everybody was out of the building, started pulling boxes out from under the table. Everybody saw it. What do you think? What do you think people are supposed to think? But they wouldn't let him show the video. They wouldn't let him play the what was it, Facebook or Instagram, where they were bragging what they were doing. Both the mother and the daughter were bragging about it. Wouldn't let him enter that into evidence. Gawk, gawk, glitz. What's going on in here? What's going on out there with you? That's what we want to know. We're nosy. We want to know what you're up to. No, I mean, we can't be in an echo chamber, guys. We got to talk. I'm waiting to see. Now, you heard what I just said, right? What I just said. What is the response to that? How can a top prosecutor, a top attorney who wrote the RICO laws that Fannie Willis and all them are twisting and trying to add novel legal theories to, he can't put the videotapes in? He can't play their own words with what they were saying, what they were doing? He can't put up evidence that he presented in Gettysburg with another top prosecutor, Sidney Powell. He's not allowed to present that stuff in evidence and has no jury, and a judge in D.C. who has communist leanings, Marxist philosophy, ruling against him no matter what he does. Is that the way America works? I'm not saying defamatory comments. I'm now hold on, freeze. I am saying, and you are saying the same sort of defamatory comments that he said. I heard the posts I heard her own voice. Okay, I saw her walking with a big gulp or whatever it was, a big old soda, talking about what they were going to do that day. Okay, I saw everybody get run out on the video, everybody being made to leave the building because of a pipe bursting that never happened. I saw that. I saw them pulling boxes out. I saw them taking a stack of paper, run it through, pick the same stack up, and then run it through again, and then take the same stack and run it through again. I saw it with my own eyes. That's not defamatory. You know what that reminds me of? Reminds me, a friend of mine was running a farms center type property. I won't say exactly what it was, but he had somebody helping him. And the guy kept messing things up. And one time he came in late. He was half in the bag. You could smell booze on him. And he was young guy. And my friend said, "Get out of here, you dumb SOB." And he used the actual words, dumb SOB. Get out of here. You're fired. Well, his mother came and started raising Cain, and she said she was going to sue him. He said, "For what?" And she said, "You called my son a SOB. You said he was dumb." He said, "Name one thing I had said that wasn't true." So it's the same here. And I see you're saying, well, it was debunked. My eyeballs have been debunked. I can't believe my lying eyes. That's what you're telling me, Freedom? Debunked. How you doing, Tennessee? Where'd Gawk Gawk Glitz go? Oh, Gawk Gawk Glitz. FL, that false FLAG, when you put words like that in there, put a 4 for an A, and it won't set my rhythm off, because some of those are considered keywords. Okay, I appreciate that. Anything that you might think the rhythm might pick up, but debunked is a Mockingbird Media BS term. It got debunked. Oh, that's been debunked. Like I said, how can you debunk my eyeballs and my brain, what I see with my eyes and process with my brain? When I hear the video, I'm going in today. I got a lot of work to do today. You know, they take all the videos down. They take the video creators who repost, say, look at this. Look what you're seeing with your own eyes. They take your channel down. There'll be lawsuits over that. So how can they debunk something I see with my own eyes? That's like me sitting in my car in a legal parking space, cup of coffee. Oh, by the way, I got to buy me a coffee. Go to buymeacoffee and .com and type in Mountain Man. You can help support the channel. But anyway, if I'm sitting in a parking spot, mind my own business, got a key, the car turned off, and I look in the rear view mirror, here's somebody comes, well, not paying attention to what they're doing, and crashes right in the back of my car, and then pulls off and leaves. And I see the person's face. And I find them with a cop. I say, that's the person right there. Oh, that's been debunked. It never happened. It's been debunked. There you go. FF. That's a good one. I know what that means right off the bat. TG, how are you doing? Yeah, don't believe your lying eyes. That's right, Cindy. They had a press conference with that young man. All that stuff's going to come out. Tony Bobolinsky, he gave a press conference at the same time. A guy that was driving a trailer full of pieces of paper, if you know what I'm talking about, from New York City to Philly. And people at the Post and then the rest of that is office hustle those things around. There's going to be a lot of people going to jail over that. Because the bottom line is, I don't know when. I'm from parts unknown, Gawk Gawk Glitz. It's on the map. I'm waiting to see if Freedom will tell me how can I not believe my own eyes? All that stuff's going to get thrown out. What they did with Giuliani is going to, and that judge is going to be impeached, if not put in custody. Deprivation of rights under call of law. Oh, and here's a big one, folks. I meant to talk about it the other night. I know this happened because I remember hearing it. Judge Alito ordered Pennsylvania to preserve all those pieces of paper, air quotes, and they defied his order. It did happen everywhere, Freedom Rider. It's multiple people in multiple states. PA was bad, yeah. And Judge Alito, his court order was defied, and nobody said a word about it. And Mr. T talked about the watermarks on the ballots. You know what? The watermarks were there in 2020. And everybody says, well, why didn't you do something? Why didn't they do something then? And Trump is got the same questions now. Why didn't you do these cases you're trying to do against me now? Why didn't you do them 3 years ago? Why wait till right at the election? Okay, well, everything's going to be laid out on the table about the watermarks. Everything's going to be laid out to show people how, like Trump said in that one speech, people punch in the computer, Trump, and it goes bop, bop, bing, bing, boop, boop to different countries. Beep, beep, bop, bop, boom. Remember that? And he says it comes back Biden. They have the algorithm changing them because they changed tens of millions, okay? Tens of millions. So why didn't they do something about it 2020? They caught them all. They have everything. Why didn't you just have the military go in there and get it? Because there would have been no understanding. It would have been painted out by the mainstream media as an unlawful coup by a dictator, not somebody enforcing the law and catching thieves. That's what this whole 3 years have been about. Beating my head against the wall with people who don't want to see the reality. The reality is that Donald Trump told everybody to retire to their abodes now and stop. He invoked the Insurrection Act. The military has de facto control. And what is the first law of war? Reduce human suffering. To achieve a goal with the least amount of human suffering. If we'd have had riots in the streets, we'd have had people at each other's throats, not understanding. It would have taken just as long to straighten it out as to go ahead and let them screw everything up, let 15 million illegal aliens in, have them do their motor voting, which automatically registers them to vote. There were millions of illegals voting in 2016. We can get to the same place in the same amount of time by educating people and showing them as if we'd have took action in 2020 and had rifts and divides in this country that in many cases could never be healed. We got to have a mostly universal understanding of what they did. Who's using keywords? Yeah, watch the trigger words. When I close out, I'm going to close out in a few minutes because I, tell people are getting tired. But I'm going to recommend you all watch something. But I'm going to tell a quick story, a true story. Why you can't do something in certain situations militarily. there was an account, and I used to read these stories years and years ago, before many of the people who are arguing with me in the past or now or whatever were even born. I'm not kidding. I used to read diaries from Civil War veterans, World War II veterans, and one story, it's rather horrible, but I won't get into detail, but I will let you know the seriousness of it. One German soldier was on the Eastern Front, and he was a sniper, right? Now, when they get caught, it is horrible. If they know that's what you do on, any side, they have a big disdain for people who do that. And they, treat you very badly, punish you and very badly, and you don't make it, okay? Well, anyway, he was trying to escort some people to the Western Front away from the advancing Russians. And they were trying to sneak through where Russians had broken through already. Squads were going around raiding people's homes, and it was a terrible situation. Well, he came upon a situation where he was hidden away, but he could look down in the courtyard of someone's house. And a Mongolian division with the Russians had taken this family out into their courtyard in the backyard. And they were abusing the young people, the kids. And they took the father and tied him up and proceeded to abuse the wife. He was by himself, but he had his rifle, a sniper rifle. There were about 15 of them, of the squad that had raided the house. So he couldn't take action right away, because he would have been found out where certain members of the squad were positioned. They would have got to him very quickly, identified his location, and he would not have lived. So unfortunately, he had to watch this horrific scene that was going on. But he was trained and he was experienced for about a year and a half in high pressure situations. And it took everything he had to exercise patience, maintain still, and get someone in his sights. The husband was still alive. The mother didn't make it. And I won't tell you what they did, but it was horrible. And there were 2 kids that had been physically abused but were still alive, and the father was tied up, forcing to watch. The time came where he felt confident he could take out at least 2 before they found his position and before they took off running where he couldn't get them. So pop, right away, you got 2. They all took off running, started returning fire. They didn't know exactly where he was. He squeezed off another and got a third, and all of them cleared out. He was able to go down, untie the father, where he could render aid to his kids and bury his wife. But he had to keep moving. But the way he told the story, if he'd acted at any time earlier, nobody would have made it. He wouldn't have made it. The kids wouldn't have made it. The father wouldn't have made it. And the mother, of course, would not have made it. So he had to make the best of a horrible situation. And the best that he could hope for was to get at least two and run, scare the rest of them off and save the kids. Well, he ended up getting three and scared the rest off and at least save the kids and the father and himself. And then he got back with his band and started heading toward the Western Allies near the Elbe River. So from a military perspective, it would have been foolish. It's not a movie. It's not a comic book where you can jump up like Captain America and take out 15 people and save the day and everybody's okay. Maybe you got a shoulder wound and you wrap a Band-Aid around it. And no, it's not that way. So 2020, had they squeezed one off, pulled the trigger and started taking kinetic action, it would have been a disaster all across this country. Even though he would have been right and justified to act sooner, it would have been worse. So he had to sit there for nearly half an hour watching abuses occur before he could intervene in a safe manner. Because the alternative was nobody makes it. So it's a little bit of a drastic story, but it's an example of how you can't stop every disaster. You can't save every fallen robin. You got to pick your battles and you got to use a strategy that will maximize survivability and minimize human suffering. That's the first law of war. So I encourage you all, if you are want to hear about soldiers' diaries, stories like that, it's World War II memories, okay? And there are other channels that also have military memories and things like that if you all want to see it on YouTube. What's Freedom doing? What are you doing, Freedom? I'm trying to tell a story. Sad but true, man. Start to focus on the policy choices that Americans can debate to improve the plight of everyone. That's a worthy debate. Well, the plight that we're in is we've had 100 years at least of our financial system being manipulated. I don't know what else I can tell you besides the fact, F-A-C-T, fact, that in 1969, $1,000 bill today is only worth $100. And that didn't happen for the first 200 years of this republic. Ever since they instituted the Federal Reserve and the central banks, there's one party that doesn't care to improve the lives of the American people. It's obvious. Republicans focus on BS cultural issues on the fringe. What enriching? You don't understand, Freedom. We've already told you it's a uniparty. It doesn't matter about Republicans. It doesn't matter about Democrats. It's the bureaucratic administrative class, the people that want to rule other people. They get you on a hamster wheel and you can't get off. So you're putting people in cubby holes. A Republican, Democrat. That is so. Can I get a range of your age, Freedom Rider? You don't have to. You don't tell anything about yourself, but I'd like to know a range of your age within, I don't know, 5 years from here to here. What age range are you in? I'm in the age range of OLD. Okay, MAN. That's right, Jerry Lee. Debt slavery. Where's the age range? I'm looking for it. Let me see. I'm way up down on the chats. Let's see. It's all the same thing, Rick. You're right. Canada Liberals, Green Party, blah, all this crap, all there. They just want to get in their chairs in their offices and, find out who's going to give them the next bribe. Find out which lobbyist is going to come around. Hey, we get 50,000 for your wink wink campaign if you approve funding for this solar farm. Oh, okay, thank you. See, all right, Freedom, I didn't ask for your exact age, but if you want to give it, that's up to you. So you're claiming you're a high mileage model. Yeah, I mean, when I was in my salad days, you weren't even born. You weren't even born. And that's not to disparage you. I'm just telling you. Like Winston Churchill said, if you're not a liberal when you're young, you're heartless. And if you're not a conservative when you're older, you're brainless. So the class warfare of this party is for the downtrodden, and this party is only to make the rich richer. That's been debunked. You want to talk about debunked? I want everybody to be rich. I want everybody to own a home. I want everybody to have multiple cars. I want everybody to enjoy their life. I want everybody to be able to leave their children a legacy where their life is more comfortable than their parents' lives. I don't want to leave $1,000 for my grandkids, and by the time they're old enough to get it, it's worth $100. Because we have a government that is constantly printing out money. The first time in human history, think about this. Rome didn't even do this. Rome didn't even have the power to print paper and pass it around like it had value, not backed by squat. He says he's 30, but he feels like he's 50, Sandy. He said, I'm 30, but I feel like I'm 50. Did I say that right? Let me scroll back up here. I can't go back that far. Let me see. I think he said he was 30, but he feels like he's 50. I wanted an age range, like 25 to 30 or 28 to 32 or something like that. But he put an exact, single songwriter. They used to have $500 bills, and they took them out of circulation in 1969. $1,000 bills in 1969. I can't find it. He said mentally I'm 30, but physically I'm 50. Well, he's still young. All right. Says he's 50. I thought he said he was 30. Must live up north. Have that old school hippie attitude towards one party is to save the poor and downtrodden, and the other party is to make the rich. There shouldn't be huge taxes on anybody, Freedom. Nobody. Another hint Trump gave out was about tariffs, because before 1916, the entire history of this country, it was nobody's damn business what you made. You made your money, you kept your money. Nobody could come take your money. It's theft, okay? The federal government survived off of tariffs and import duties, okay? And they made plenty of freaking money. Now they tax you coming and going. They gave them a little bit and they took the whole canoodle. And they started making up for their shortfalls by printing money. That's called debasing the currency. Debasing the currency. So anyway, we'll talk about that more in the future. I've talked about it many times in the past. And it is one time Jesus flipped over tables and picked up a whip when they took the bread off of people's tables by debasing the currency, stealing from the people. And that's the truth. Money changers. They were changing out crumb bum copper garbage clad in silver. They were taking people's real silver and swapping it out for junk. Money changers. That's right, single songwriter. Where's he at? Freedom. See what single songwriter said there. The Creature of Jekyll Island. Familiarize yourself with that. You know, you probably never heard of that, you know. See, we're coming from years. All you folks in my chats have been years of knowing about Behold a Pale Horse and The Creature from Jekyll Island. And how about sometimes you got to hold your fire or everybody's going to perish, and you have to hold your fire. You spell that C-U-E, Debbie, but yeah. That comment might go, Debbie, because you got to spell it C-U-E. And you know, Freedom, it's a shame we got to sit here and talk in code, and that might be part of the problem why we can't get on the same frequency, is because I'm not free to speak, or my channel gets taken down. Everybody will tell you I'm telling the truth. It's okay, honey. Don't worry, Debbie. Sorry, folks. Man, I keep going on these tangents, but that was a true story about that fellow that survived. And here it is. Highest ranking trans member of U.S. Space Force says inclusion is a national security imperative. Yeah, we got one U.S. Space Force. So my God, Freedom. I don't know where you've been reading anything. I don't know where you've been, what kind of history you've learned. So anyway, folks, we'll carry this conversation on. I've gone way over my hour, way over. But anyway, behold a pale horse, but also the Creature Jekyll Island. Okay, Freedom, you want to check that out, and you'll find out No, it is not the worst form of economic policy. The institutionalization of the government being able to take the sweat of your brow, any amount from any source, is the introduction of slavery in America, universal slavery. So anyway, I appreciate y'all spending your precious time with me, and I'm going to go live again probably tomorrow night. And I want to thank again everybody who helped me out last week: Camperman, Lone Wolf, Miss Bender Sue, Gary, MD, and Christopher Hunt, Pappy Two Bears. Okay, buy me a coffee. Code Mountain Man. If anybody wants to help a channel out, that works 24 hours a day. So anyway, you all have a great night. Keep your chins up. Things are going to get better. And really check that stuff out. Not just Freedom, but anybody that might be listening, check out The Creature from Jekyll Island. And we'll talk about that more in the future. Y'all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.